What is the burden in your heart? Who is it that you see needs help? Whose pain do you feel? Whose troubles keep you awake at night? You give them something to eat. But Jesus, I don't have enough. I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the money, I don't have the skills. You give them something to eat. I'm Dr. Carol, and that is something that has just been burning in my soul the last few days. I want to just take a couple minutes and share something that God He will not let it get out of my heart. I have been spending some time in the Gospel of Mark recently, and I got to chapter 6, and the Lord just arrested me. It has just been burning in my soul for days, and the Lord won't let me move beyond this. Enter the story. Just put yourself in the story. You're one of the disciples. All day you have been with Jesus. Thousands of people are around, and Jesus has been teaching. It has been an amazing day. You have helped, direct traffic and take care of the people when they need it. And you have been hanging on every word as Jesus has taught about the kingdom. So has everybody else. Just your spirit has soared, your mind has been stretched, and you're just glued to listening to all that Jesus has to say. Now it's evening, and your stomach is grumbling. You haven't had anything to eat all day, and neither has anybody else. And you're sure that everybody else's stomach has been grumbling too. Now, you have been watching Jesus now for months, and you know He has this wonderful heart of compassion. He cares about people. And these people are hungry, and you know Jesus would care about that. So you watch for a moment to interrupt. And you go to Jesus and say, Jesus, the people are hungry. They don't have any food. It's been a great day. Now it's time to let them go so they can go find some food. You give them something to eat, is Jesus' response. Now, there's not a Chick-fil-A or a Whataburger anywhere in sight. There, food, you give them something to eat. And you think, well, Jesus, is this the time that we're to go into our money bag and take the little bit of money we have? Even if we spent all the money that we have, we'll do it if this is the moment you want us to do that, and go scrambling to the villages and use the money and buy food. But that even wouldn't be enough to get to give all these people some food. That's not even enough. We don't have enough. And Jesus says, what do you have? How much food do you have? Well, this Happy Meal. This little boy, he brought his lunch, and that's all we have. Jesus says, tell the people to sit down on the grass and get ready for dinner. You give them something to eat. Now, no boats pulled up that were full of fish. Food trucks didn't show up. Jesus took that little boy's Happy Meal, looked up to heaven, blessed it, broke it, and gave it to the disciples. And as a disciple, you are part of taking that and distributing it to the people. Now, as I picture that story, I do not see evidence that there was suddenly a mound of food next to Jesus, and the disciples, took it one basket at a time and distributed it to the thousands of people who were there. Have you ever tried to feed 15,000 people? The Bible says there were 10,000 men. That doesn't count the women, and you know that there were children everywhere. It might have been 20,000, might have been more. Have you ever prepared food for that number of people? Even if you are a restaurateur, that is a monumental task. The biggest banquet halls are, stretched to do that. And Jesus says, tell them to sit down for dinner. And the way I see it, Jesus broke the Happy Meal and gave to each of the disciples, and as he broke, their basket was full. And as they went to this 100 and the next 100 and the next 100, the basket never gets empty. They're distributing it, and the basket keeps getting full. They don't run out. And Mark 6:42 says they all ate and were satisfied. They all ate and had enough. And you probably know the story. There were baskets of food left over. There was more than enough. You give them something to eat. What is the burden in your heart? Who is it that you see needs help? Whose pain do you feel? Whose troubles keep you awake at night? You give them something to eat. But Jesus, I don't have enough. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the money. I don't have the skills. I don't have the connections. I don't have food for all these people. You give them something to eat. I believe that as we give what we do have, there more comes. The disciples didn't keep back from the little boy's Happy Meal lunch food for themselves. They had to give it all. And Jesus asked for it. That this wasn't their idea. Jesus asked for it. Bring that here to me, he said. And when you bring what you have to Jesus and let him take it and break it and bless it, and then you pass it on, it becomes multiplied. As I am hearing that story, and as I put myself in that story, where my heart is crying is, Jesus, there's these families, there's these marriages that are on the brink of divorce, couples that are in such pain, so disconnected, and they're hurting, and there's trauma and disconnection and porn and sexual disconnect and all. It's just a mess. And I hear Jesus saying, you give them something to eat. In my soul, I say, Jesus, there are all these people that I hear from, literally, and friends, I do every day, literally every day, from around the world, men and women, young and old. Jesus, there's all these people who are hooked on pornography, and they can't get free, and they're hopeless. They don't know what to do. And Jesus is saying to me, you give them something to eat. And my heart says, Jesus, these people are so broken. They are so tied up in religious activity and toxicity and trying to do all the things, and they're just getting worn out, and they don't have any sense that you love them, that God cares for them, that they're trying to earn things, and it's just so messed up. And Jesus says, you give them something to eat. I have a deep sense that there is not enough in me to give anybody anything to eat. But it is the commission that God has given me. Will you help me feed them? I am praying that perhaps someone watching this video, that God will be speaking to your heart to partner with us. I know that God has given each of you, each of us, something to give. And as you give, it will be multiplied. But how much greater when we come together and together bring our happy meals to Jesus and then feed others. You give them something to eat. Will you help me do that? Under this video, you'll find a link where you can say, I want to be a friend of Dr. Carroll Ministries. I invite you to do that. I invite you to connect with us, praying for us, sharing about this ministry with others, and then when God so directs that you support us financially, we invite that so that we can fulfill the commission that God has given us to do. You give them something to eat. Click on that link below this video, and may God bless you.